Welcome to McKola and Howson Uncensored. We won our naming rights back. We got our naming rights back.
I'll tell you what, it didn't happen though.
Naming rights back.
You didn't get in the Stretford Paddock FC squad.
Yeah, didn't want to be anyway. I've been invited on a trial for Jamaica, actually. Was that text meant for me? Was it?
No, but let's move on.
Oh, that text wasn't meant for me. But I replied to it anyway, and I said I'll be there. And I've got my passport sorted.
Oh.
I've got it sorted.
Someone else on.
Yeah, so I've got my passport sorted, so I'll be going to that. And who knows where that will be going. You might see me playing in the CONCACAF. Is that what it is?
Gold Cup.
Gold Cup, very soon. But we're here today to talk about, I was going to say to talk about football, but we do enough of that on this channel, don't we? Sometimes.
Don't need it.
Don't want to talk about football.
We'll talk a little bit about football.
Actually, I do want to talk about football, but not football. And now, because documentary's been released, I've watched it. It was released today, so I've watched it like having my breakfast.
I saw you last night tweet, is it out at midnight?
Yeah,
Was
because
it?
it wasn't out at midnight, so I watched it at like 9 a.m. this morning.
It's on American times, isn't it? For a film?
I'm a big fan of Anelka, and that's weird because he's played for Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, West Brom, Chelsea, Bolton. That's 7 teams.
And France.
Mumbai, Real
Bloody
Madrid,
foreigners.
Fenerbahce, Paris Saint-Germain.
More
Anybody?
clubs and then fucking Tiger Woods.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of like his character and him, and I think he's very misunderstood, and I think you learn that story in the documentary, and I really enjoyed it. I think you should watch it. But I'm surprised. You'd think it would be a 10-part series. It's one. It's like a movie length.
Some pretty good
It's mad how
documentaries
footballers
being made,
are so misunderstood and can be misrepresented by the press if you haven't got them on your side. Like that quote that he apparently said to Dominic at the 2010 World Cup, which kicked off with Paddy Evra and everyone like that, pulling out of training and stuff. He never said that. Yet Le Creep ran it. It ruined his career.
Well, I did speak to Uncle Pat a little bit about what went on in that, and he said the time will come to really mention everything that went on. But when you know Evra, you know Evra's generally on the right side of stuff, generally. You don't think he kicks off at small things. I think he's very proud to be French. I think he was very proud to be part of that squad. And when there's anything like that goes off, I think he does what's right for everybody, I think. Or
And
what he believes is
You
right.
don't get the caliber of some of those players that are in that squad standing behind you, like, as a whole.
So what did they allege he said?
It was a French translation, but it was something along the lines of "Go fuck yourself, you son of a whore," or something along those lines. So
From Anelka to Dominic.
yeah,
In
and they
training.
said that's what was happened at half time in the game. Was it against Mexico? So he came off at half time 0-0. Mexico won 2-0. They had to beat, I think it was South Africa in the final game by 2 clear goals to win. And then that was when that happened in training, like 2 days before that game. It was a mental tournament.
It's France all over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's France all over. And then I
remember.
remember seeing the pictures of like Evra looking really angry and doing the press conference angry. And yeah, it looked like Dominic just kind of found a scapegoat and thought, if I make this circus all about Anelka, people are going to forget the bad job that I've done. And it came in under the back of Henry's handball, remember? So we had all that as well. What a player, though. You forget he's won Champions League, Premier League for Arsenal and Chelsea, FA Cup.
Anelka at Arsenal was
not La Liga.
fucking
Serie A.
terrifyingly good.
He's won everything.
I did speak to Frank Lampard once.
Ooh. I tweeted that video the other day. Remember that video of Evra saying, "Suck my pussy, Frank Lampard"?
That's when I fell in love with Evra.
That's what it was. That was around the time just before the semi-final against Chelsea when Monaco played Chelsea.
Was it?
And Monaco got to the final. And that was along that run. The
See,
Morientes run.
Evra should have done YouTube. Since then.
That was on Bebo because the water print, the thing on the logo says Bebo.
So for those who haven't seen it, I think off the top of my head, 'cause I haven't seen it in about 10 years, I reckon. He steams into a hotel room.
We can play it. It's not monetized.
All right. So he steams into a hotel room. He sort of jumps on a bed, doesn't he?
So someone's purposely recorded him,
Yeah.
so he can say this, but he stumbles in like.
Yeah. He looks, I think, off the top of my head, he either like jumps on and falls off a bed or something, and then stands up and he goes, "What? Suck my pussy, Lampard, you fat cunt."
No, he
Or something
goes,
like that.
"What the fuck?" Hasselbank. He's like he's trying to be like a West Coast LA gangster, like with everything.
It's just Evra. You've seen what he's like on social media. It's just the most Evra video ever, innit? That, can you imagine he did that now?
And then I had to cut it there because he had M-bombs and all sorts in there.
Yeah, he's not roofed in right. I fucking love him for it. I fucking absolutely love him for it. But yeah, I spoke to Lampard, and I mean I've mentioned this to you before. For these lot, it was in the Lowry.
Oh yeah, I know about this story. Yeah.
And we've gone in there just to fucking.
Was this when he was at Man City?
Yeah. So he's sitting in there. He's on a glass of wine. He's on a fucking iPad shopping, just in a bar, and Jaden's with us. Oh, mate, how old's Jaden? He's probably 7, something like that. And he's like, "Can I go and speak to Frank Lampard?" And I said, "Be polite, but go on then." And he goes over and he sits there. Half an hour goes by. And I'm like, "What are they doing?" And they're talking, so I thought, I'm deaf, aren't I, right? So I'm going to try and see if I can hear what they're talking about. And they're talking about playing for England. Jaden's a central midfielder. Lampard's a central midfielder. I'm listening in on what the crack is here. Jaden had not long been at City as well, so they was probably talking about that, I imagine. But he was talking about really intelligent conversation from a fucking 7-year-old, talking about positioning and things to look for and all that sort of shit. And then they was talking about the goal in the South Africa World Cup, and like he had a really good conversation with him. I thought, right, he's probably bending his ear off enough now. I'll go over and I'll say cheers and pull him out of the way. So as I walked over, I just heard him go, "I bet your dad like that." And I went, "What?" And he went, "Moscow." And you're like, right, you've just been well sound with my boy for honestly 20 minutes, half an hour. I can't rip you. My whole body wants to go, your fucking mate won us the cup. Because I'm sure they're mates.
And now I can miss the penalty as well, talk about that.
Which is what I said. Because I was like, I can't rip John Terry, even though every fibre of my being saying just fucking call John Terry a cunt to him, see what he says. And I said, yeah, it was amazing. And I'm just, my brain's going 100 mile an hour going, what can I say here? So I said, I knew Anelka was missing that penalty. And then he went, yeah, so did I. And I went, so I sat down then and I was like, talk to me. I said, how'd that come about? And I think he said it was meant to have been taking the 5th penalty. And he said he didn't want to. Or something
John
like
Terry
that.
shuffled the pack.
It was...
That's what happened.
No, it was still...
Drogba got
no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. He said he was still annoyed that he didn't come on in the game or he didn't start the game or something like that. He was still annoyed at something. And I said, what, he just carried that into his penalty? And he was like, yeah.
Because Drogba got sent off.
Yeah.
Terry shuffled the pack, so he'd take the 5th one. So there's probably a little bit of that in there as well, where he's got to cover up for John Terry, like shuffling the pack. But I remember, because I was on the floor in the Palace Hotel, looking through my hands at this. And once Ronaldo...
I was there too.
Once Ronaldo had missed, I'd thought,
well,
this is over.
I was with Ben and Farke, and my exact words was, both of them had faced the opposite way, and I nearly knocked Farke out because I punched the air. And it was all like in a big sort of group hug. And as John Terry started walking up, I went, he ain't scoring, he's fucking English. And then he missed, and I jumped.
I thought I was set. Because I hated John Terry. So in my head, the worst case scenario was unfolding before our eyes.
Just adjusting his armband.
Pulling up his start.
He's seeing the headline.
Yeah. He knew, and it was almost falling in for him perfectly. And then I just thought, he's almost not missing this.
Falling.
Yeah, and he did. And then when I saw Anelka, it was the first time I felt calm about the whole...
Anelka's face is weird.
He touched his face, like he had rain in his face, you could tell, and he just looked...
He didn't want to be there.
Sad.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there.
Sad, and you just thought... And he only joined them in January.
Did he?
So he'd only been there 6 months because he came from Bolton. And yeah, you just knew he was going to miss. And I love Anelka, but I'm always be grateful for that moment, man. Like...
It's a shit pen.
It was a shit pen.
It's a shit pen.
Well, it always is when the keeper saves it, isn't it? Because Ronaldo's is exactly the same.
They're in that save zone, aren't they? So, like, if you think of your phone there as the goal, the save zone is like a mini goal there.
Like a 6-yard box.
Just with inside the thingy. Yeah. And that's where they all miss. You look at every missed penalty, that's where they are. Or skied.
Or just, the height where a keeper dives.
Yeah, there.
Just
that's the height.
Yeah.
It's harder to get them down. That's why, like, one of my favourite penalties was
Hargreaves,
Beckham.
Nanny, Anderson all hit him quite high, didn't they?
Yeah, and Giggs tucked it right into the fucking behind the post.
Mate, I watched that. It was on ITV the other day, the final. Both of them have been actually recently, probably in homage to Clive Tysley or something. Who had a Rangers TV guy?
I know. I think we might have been able to get him if fucking
We've
Rangers
got
TV
more
have got.
subscribers than Rangers TV.
I think we've got more than United.
But like
TV, not YouTube, obviously.
seeing that, it just it was a great. But I remember Giggsy walking up and thinking Giggsy's going to miss. But I think it was just the rain. It was just the rain. That image of when you look at someone, and I'm a pessimist when it comes to penalties. But when you look at someone and you just see him, you just get a feeling that it's not going to go right. But after that, like Rooney was angry when he went off, pissed off, took his shirt off and all that. And then you see his celebration, because that's my favourite picture of that night.
Is it
The one, yeah, where he's jumping up in the air like that. And there's also the one where they're breaking from the penalties. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's a great picture. But Ronaldo's emotions, I was kind of glad he missed and we won. Because it's not all about him, was it? We saved him.
Yeah.
Which was good. And I felt like if he had been the main hero and won us the Champions League, he might have left away. Because like, I've done everything. But it was like, actually, we saved a
Very much
bacon.
a team in that. It was a great team, and he played great football as well. And Fergie proved, even in the final, because Chelsea are formidable. I interviewed Wes Brown on the warm down, and I always try and get, was there any tactical stuff? And they said they knew Essien was going to fill in at right back to try and deal with Ronaldo.
He did well in the second half. First half, Ronnie had him.
But they said, we thought if we could get high balls into him, Ronaldo will beat him in the air. And Wes Brown bangs in the fucking cross.
Off his left foot.
Yeah, off his left foot, fucking inch perfect cross. Ronaldo's, and to be fair, Ronaldo's 8 feet above Essien when he connects with that ball. It's an unbelievable
I think
cross.
because that game ended as a draw and it went to penalties and Terry and Anelka, you forget how good that goal was. Because it was up there with his Roma one.
That was amazing.
It was up there with, but it kind of gets lost.
The point I was making though is the tactical nous of Fergie for the coaching staff and the management staff to identify that as a weakness and then to deliver on that as how you break, because that was an awesome Chelsea side, and to deliver on that to be able to open the scoring. And Lampard's goal, there was like 3 people fell over in the build-up.
There was a couple of deflections. It was
yeah,
very lucky.
it was the proper
But it
Lampard
changed the
goal.
tide. After that, it wasn't a great. There was a lot of chances because Giggsy had one which Terry flicked over. Should have buried that.
Didn't Tevez have one as well?
Carrick had one. Tevez had one. Like Giggsy should have scored the winner really in the Champions League final. He should have scored the winner. But then Drogba hits the post. Like there's a lot of. One of his free kicks as well. One of his free kicks whistled past, and you think, oh.
Finals are always like that. 99 was similar in terms of just the absolute carnage.
And I wasn't confident about that because we'd lost the FA Cup final a year
Pass
ago.
that shirt.
A year before
the red one on the end.
against them. If you remember, Drogba scored this one.
Yeah. So, while we're talking about that Champions League, we've got an actual Champions League shirt. It's Clegg's. That's a real.
That's from a season after we'd won it.
No, this is from the season. I think they had the thingy embroidery put on it after. But this is Clegg's player issue Champions League shirt. He's still not come and got it. But how mint is that? Top right, isn't it? He keeps saying he's going to come down and get it, but yeah, it's been on my set.
I'll be wearing this to bed tonight if you don't
for
come
like
and
a
get it
fucking
anytime
year.
soon. How good is it to see these back on our shirts?
Yeah.
The new shirt was released this week.
I asked Martin Edwards once about why did we end up having a second shirt for the Champions League that season, and he was like, I don't know, because we've never done it since.
Was it good? But it was 98 though, so was it not
There's
a
nothing,
commemoration of
nothing like
the
that.
and of 1878?
They never mentioned it, and there's no like
58.
there's nothing about it on here. Like it doesn't mention 68. It's got the Champions League logo in the middle of it. Maybe it was something to do with that. I don't know. Mad.
That's how you know it's a player issue because the replicas didn't have that in it.
Didn't
did
they?
I don't think so.
I never had one. I had the home one that year.
I had the home one that year too. I like how it says Umbro on it rather than has the logo as well, which is pretty good. What do you think of our new kit?
I wonder if they put those other ones out to sort of like scare you, or they were prototypes, like because they seemed nailed on, didn't they? Like that zebra one, I was like, big yikes for that, because that reminds me of the grey one.
And there was a green and gold one, and we've seen those colours used in the training gear.
Oh yeah, the Yeah, not quite green and gold.
But you know what I mean, like
It's green and like a orange.
orange, Australian colours almost.
Yeah, because I don't think the Glazers. Although I think if the Glazers wanted to just completely obliterate the green and gold movement, they put a green and gold kit out and everyone goes fuck. Because if you want to support the green and gold movement, you buy the kit that you're like, oh, it just ends them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I was going to say something then about the Champions League that I totally forgot.
It's good being back in it.
It is good being back, but
I love that music.
Do you know
why they got that music?
Where or why?
Why? Two massive influences. Can't remember where I read it, but I'm a nerd for history on stuff, and that's where I found it.
I think I might have seen this clip on YouTube as well.
This wasn't YouTube. I read me.
I've seen something on the music.
It was Italia United, because Italia United was like a first World Cup that had like a proper anthem to it. But it was also the Barcelona Olympics. And the Barcelona Olympics, I think the Champions League started the year after the Barcelona Olympics, and obviously 3 years after the Italia United. It started 93, 94. And they wanted it to feel different to the European Cup, so they created this whole aura around it. And I think it's we are the champions in like fucking 8 different languages is what the music for it all is.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
I used to sing the words all wrong when I was a kid. All
Still
wrong.
do now.
But you was mentioning the Olympics in Barcelona, then they had the best clothes. Have you seen in The Last Dance when MJ's at the Olympics and he's got a tracksuit on or a t-shirt and shorts and it's Nike and it's. If someone can find that, I've been looking everywhere for that tracksuit, and that t-shirt. It's so good. Talking about The Last Dance, Beckham wants one.
What?
A doc like that.
No comment. I can't talk about this.
Which era?
I can't talk about
Which era does it happen in?
Oh, actually, no, I can't talk about this. Sorry. There's something else I can't talk about. We said this, that there should be a Last Dance. If someone had done it, because you can't just say, let's do it. Someone had to have recorded all that footage. Now, I know the Promised Land, Beyond the Promised Land has got some of that. And there's probably enough that you could piecemeal it
Nicholas
together.
Anelka has used current footage and then like newspapers and pictures and his own phone footage and stuff like that.
And the way Last Dance was done as well, that they spoke to all of the different people now, they could easily do that with Beckham.
Americans are better in terms of documenting everything, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like Fergie would have been like, no cameras, no this, no. Look, Amazon couldn't even get into it.
Yeah, but like you say that, but like there is video footage from inside the dressing room in Turin in '99. That's out there.
That's true, but would that have been like a kit man brought his own?
Nah, because they'd have been like that then.
It's true. There is, but then it's like they're big games. Surely Fergie, I don't know, one of the players maybe, or.
Well, that's it. Only Beckham would know, wouldn't it? Or anyone around at that era.
That footage must be worth some dough, isn't it?
Do you know what really struck me though is how subdued it was. Like Fergie sort of like popping champagne on his own in the middle of the dressing room. Everyone's a bit chill.
The semi-final one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because of Keane. You seen Keane when he walks in? That's so sad, isn't it? Because he should be like up here, like yo, fucking hell, I've just out. And he comes in and he just sits down. On his
I reckon he's like that after every win, though. I just get that vibe off him.
Nah,
that he's never happy. That
you could. Nah,
he's like,
you
we've
could
won,
tell.
but I'm not happy.
I think moments like that have turned him into the man he is today. Like, you know how he's a little bit bitter about stuff and that. Those kind of things would affect you like that. Like, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Roy Keane don't. I still don't think he gets the credit. Look at how people talk about Gerrard and that, bro. And I know it's because Keane's Irish and he's not English, but. He was such a phenomenal... And people look at him like he's just some nutjob.
Well, people look at what Roy Keane was and they look at what Vinnie Jones was and go, same. Fuck no. Roy Keane was one of the best passers of football ever. Roy Keane had fucking impeccable decision-making. Roy Keane had... Now, of course he had drive, of course he had determination, of course he had influence, but he also had fucking vision and work rate. And what people blowing their mind about what Kante does, that's week one, day one shit for Roy Keane. He does that, but he also has passing. And he chipped in with a lot of fucking important goals.
It was in the era of just two-man midfield.
Yeah.
So you haven't got a next man being your legs.
Imagine if you'd have had... Because I think we've touched on this recently. What Fergie fucked up on when he tried to do 4-5-1 is he's looked at Beckham as the winger, whereas in reality, the 4-3-3 needs the Ronaldo as the winger. Beckham's a centre mid in a 4-3-3.
Yeah, no more.
Now, if you get Beckham, Scholes, Keane as a midfield three, maybe not him. Maybe it's got to be someone a bit more workmanlike. But that's your midfield three. The wingers have to be right. Ronaldo and Beckham don't necessarily take each other's position. They complement each other.
Solskjaer could have played as an inverted foot, like the front part of a front three. Because I remember when he took Beckham's spot.
He was getting rid of Beckham, wasn't he?
Yeah, he took Beckham's spot on the right wing, and he scored like 20 goals that season. He scored a lot. 16,
I don't know if he scored
goals.
a lot. He assisted a lot.
He got a lot of goals from that.
Because I remember people talking to him about like, "Wow, your delivery is amazing from the wing, considering you're not a winger." And he was like, "Well, I watched the game, and I think how would I like to receive it?"
Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it? Yeah, and he's like, he was never a. If you can pass a ball in, like he passes the ball into the net, do you know what I mean? He doesn't shoot, so just pass it to one of your teammates. It's not much different.
That's why his finishing was so good, because his finishing was fucking elite.
It was different. It was up there. It was different gravy. Ollie is this different gravy though as a player, and now you're seeing it as a manager. Who knows where he can take us? But it's good to have Champions League football back, I guess. It just makes this Europa League campaign feel stupid.
Yeah, you were saying before when we was in there, like almost can't be arsed.
I feel like we're too good for this now. Till next year, we're like, fuck, we need to win it because we finished third in our group.
Fucking Thursdays again, bastard!
That'd be so funny if we end up back in there next year. Oh,
it won't, because they'll sack Ollie if we're back in it. He has to build. He has to at least come third again next year. And I want him to win it, because if we win it, it's the best season post Fergie. We did well in a cup and we've got Champions League football. No one else has done that.
Talking about Champions League. Rooney spoke about those finals recently, so tactically, basically blamed Fergie. One of those finals should have been Chelsea again.
Yeah.
It was after disgrace.
That was a joke.
And we would have beaten
That was almost
Chelsea.
as bad as the one with, was it PSG recently? Fucking absolute piss take it was.
Oh, yeah. Barca beat PSG.
Was it then?
From 6-0 down or something like that.
Yeah, was Neymar at Barcelona still then? Because people was breathing on him, he was going down. Yeah, there's some fuckery afoot there, I think. Joe, you can get the tactics wrong, but to be fair, at the time, people was talking about that Barcelona side being the best club side ever.
Defo the second final, but the run in Rome, I think we were the best team in the world at that point.
We were not far off them. But ultimately, no one had the answer for that Barcelona at the time. Some say it's down to Messi. Some say it's down to performance-enhancing drugs. Some say it's down to all sorts of shit. You don't know, do you?
What I love though is as well that these are like Wayne Rooney. You know how us fans, we kind of make ourselves feel better now by saying, "Well, we lost against the best team ever almost twice." So
what can you do? First shot away.
Whereas Rooney's like.
Fumed still.
Rooney's like,
wake up in the middle of the night like...
should have beaten them bastards, like, fuck's sake. Yeah, because he was very influential in that, the second final again, like the run to it, wasn't it? Was it when
was that the AC Milan one?
And the Bayern Munich?
Oh, mate, that AC Milan goal.
Oh, no, that Bayern Munich one was before that when he did his ankle.
Yeah, that was, and we had Tony Strudwick on a warm down as well, and he was saying that it went off in the changing room at half time of the Bayern Munich game. He said the plan was to take Rooney off.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think he told us that. Rennie? Wasn't it Rennie that told us that?
Tony Strudwick told it me.
Someone's told me that story as well.
Rafa was supposed to come off, and I think Rooney was supposed to come off because of his injury, because he just weren't having it. And he said it just went off. He goes, and by the time it had all settled, like the buzzer went, they had to fucking go back out again. And then he was like, "Oh shit, we meant to make a sub." And you're like, "Oh, if there's a fucking camera in there, yellow. Yeah, if there's a fucking camera on." In that dressing room.
But it shows you how you can miss such simple things, like, because it's only 15 minutes. By the time you get to the dressing room, everyone's released their little bit of anger.
Fucking shouting at
you got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Now he's bollocked Rooney for 6 minutes.
Yeah, and you think the way...
all right, we need to go back out. Oh shit, we forgot to take off Rafa.
The way analysis works as well in the changing rooms is the first 3 minutes or so of... getting into, so you can imagine the noise of a dressing room at half time, a Champions League, was it semi-final that? Quarters.
quarter.
Was it not semi?
Might have been. I'm not too sure. Darren Gibson scored.
Whatever it was, yeah. You get in the fucking dressing room and you can imagine the noise, can't you? You've got 18 players in there. You've probably got 10 staff in there. There's physios. There's fucking probably media. If not club media, some fucker is in there just being a fucking nuisance.
Karen, shot ball.
Possible, allegedly. And then you... Fergie, I don't know if Fergie did, but like generally how it worked now is the manager needs to have some moments where the analysis team are going to say to him, blah, 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 this, that, and he might ask for clarification. What do you mean fucking, they've played 49% of their forward balls in behind Raphael. They've only played 20 down the middle and 29% down the other side. Like they're targeting him. They're going to keep targeting him. And then that's a judgment call on him then. What do I do with this info? Is that a first half tactic? Is that going to be a tactic as they go forward? Did they make any changes? Why would they do that? So he's got to process all of that information. Then it goes off in the next room. And no one's ever told us who went off. I'm going to guess Rooney. Just because that was his character. Nanny Blaze went over the bar as well, didn't he? Let's say Rooney and Nanny went at it.
Oh, Nanny fucking scored a great goal.
But let's presume, mate, we started off like a rocket.
Like,
we're going to fucking battle again, we're having it!
Yeah.
So let's just say they go off. You don't know to the extent, was it fists? Was it arguing? Did everyone get involved? Was it just them two? What happened, it totally disrupted whatever went on at half time because they forgot to make the 2 subs. Then we go back out and you just think, fucking hell. And then they maybe didn't want to change it 5 minutes into the second half. Maybe something else happened.
Maybe sent off. It's too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
Madness. And those little decisions is what careers can hinge on. Careers. Insane.
I'm so sad that Fergie. Like, it's weird, but
You said the other day he retired too soon.
Yeah. Like I seen him on TV talking about Klopp, and I was just thinking, you could have did a job for 2 more years, man. Think about Robbie Van Persie, how sad he is. I reckon we would have won another Champions League.
I don't.
Chelsea won it? No. Did they win it after Fergie left? Yeah,
No,
Chelsea.
2012.
Oh. We should have won it then. We should have won it. We should have won it more. Dortmund, Monaco.
Well, that's the whole point of a cup competition, isn't it? The best team doesn't
Leverkusen.
always win it. The best team doesn't always win it. Mad what Real Madrid have done in the last 5 years with it.
Fuck off. How many did they won now? 13? 12? 13? 12?
A lot.
They've won so many that players can win them there, and they don't give a fuck about them players.
They win 4 or 5 Champions Leagues. 3, 4 Champions Leagues.
Fuck you, bruv. I don't care if you won Champions League. Get out. So one person wins the Champions League here, we're like, yo. Like, I look at Wes Brown like, you won 2 Champions Leagues. All right, you never played in '99.
He did play though.
No, I mean in the final. But
No, okay, yeah. But he played in the build-up. He played in one of the
Yeah.
group, in the semi of the group.
He was Jimmy Murphy Player of the Year that year, and he would push him through, and he would break him
18-year-old Wes
through.
Brown, like, what a player. Injuries did him.
And yet Gareth Bale. Let's not talk about Gareth Bale because we know Woodward watches out for us. Probably get some stupid ideas and sign him.
I don't know when this comes out, but I think we're getting Sancho.
No, it's just at this moment in time, as it stands, whilst recording this, the British press are trying to pour cold water on the deal,
Yeah.
and
Basically,
Fabrizio's still
they all
sticking
got
to
a
his gun.
text.
Yeah, got a text. They all got a text. I'm still 90% sure it happens. I've always been that sure. I can't. It's the biggest no-brainer of the window, I think.
Yeah. Look, this has happened with every single transfer we've had lately. There's been a process. There's been talk, pour water on it. Right, I fully expect like Juventus or Madrid to be in for him like the next 2 days, and then he signs. Like even when Pep was being announced, because they fucking clipped us up by talking about it. I never said a positive thing about the guy because I fucking never wanted him. But they clipped it all up together because we spoke about what was being said in the news. But like the week before he was announced at City, someone had put it out there. Oh, Pep's gone to United, and it's just I don't know why they do it.
It's like when people link us with players so that they can say, "Well, United
Rejected
got
United. No, he didn't.
It's like Gabriel. We've seen that with Benoit Badiashile.
You see the Spartak Moscow account? Some fucker on Twitter today was like, oh, Phil Jones is going to Spartak Moscow.
And rubbished it.
And they just quote tweeted it and put, sigh.
With a Phil Jones face or something in it. But it's like, how do they know their scouting department? Well, I'm not sure you scout Phil Jones, but...
But either way, they can ask, can't they? Are we in for Phil Jones? Fuck no. Definitely. Safe.
I hope he signs for them.
How funny would it be if the United Twitter account would be like, quote, lads, can we start quote tweeting journalists and go, lies?
Yeah.
How amazing would it be?
Or just funny looks. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, or just a crying, laughing emoji would do it, wouldn't it? It's over. It's over. But so that, fuck that.
And it's so clear when there's a brief as well.
Yeah, how about make it less obvious, lads?
At least, like, release your stories.
Yeah.
Stagger them
Not
out.
within a minute of each other.
With the same wording. Tweet something like this. They all did it.
Yeah, they all.
You can see how it happens, innit? Neil Ashton got a tweet around, text around.
If it was him.
And that's why, like, I find it a little bit unfair sometimes with some, not all journalists. Most journalists deserve criticism these days. But when some journalists, like say Simon Stone, will tweet that, he has been reliably told that information from a source that he believes is well positioned.
Not Simon Stone, but one of the others that we've spoken to quite a lot, said to me at one point, and it's one that we always suspected had head on the blower, and he was like, what am I supposed to do when the guy in charge at United says, this is what's happening?
Yeah.
I have to write it. He goes, I can't be like, well, I think that's a load of old bollocks. Ed. He goes, I have to write
but
what they
Fabrizio
told me.
said it's done.
Yeah,
but Ahmed Woodward. Yeah.
So he goes, and then he goes, if I tell him to go fuck himself, that's obviously bollocks. He goes, guess what? I'm never getting another interview. He goes, so sometimes you have to play the game. And unfortunately, I think United have got too many that are on the playing the game and too many that fucking just won't do anything for them. So you end up with just an absolute shit show. There has to be a better way to have a relationship, I think.
But unfortunately, some would rather have that connection than risk losing it, even if it means...
Printing bollocks. Printing things that you know is probably bollocks.
See that Trump interview this week? That was good.
That was a lot of bollocks.
It'd be good to do an interview like that with Ed Woodward. You said this, but look at
the stats.
And see how he spins it.
That's mad, that.
Yeah.
Right, that's funny, right, if he is just a guy that runs a hotel.
Yeah.
It's not funny when that's the guy with the nukes. Everyone's fuming in the comments now. It's like, Lee, do you not know fuck off? Stick to football, you dickheads.
Listen.
Shut up, you knob. It affects us.
Anyway.
See that in Lebanon?
Yeah.
Mate.
Thoughts with other people out there, by the way.
Shit the bed. If you're in Lebanon, fucking up, you're all right. Amazing how few, I know that if you are affected by that, obviously it's devastating, but amazing how few people were killed with it. Considering the size.
I know it's still a lot of people.
Mate, it took out like half a city.
Yeah,
you'd expect that to be in the thousands.
You see the video of the poor lady taking her wedding picture? Yeah.
You seen the one in the car?
It's phenomenal.
There's a car driving like over the docks.
I had to stop after a bit. You know, like when you've watched one too many videos, and I think sometimes I need to do it for my mental health more than anything, but sometimes I just need to get off the internet. It's too depressing.
I got no soul. I'm cool.
Yeah, your soul's got a long time ago.
I can watch it. Did you see the guy that was on the roof? Wait, we have to fucking say. Listen. So there's a guy on a roof filming like, he can see into the windows and you're like, did he make it? He must have made it. He posted it, but fuck me.
But did he post it? That's what you think?
Yeah.
Or someone found their phone?
Or was he live streaming it at the time?
Was he sending it to someone?
You defo can't hear shit afterwards. Mate, that was a big explosion.
Yeah, it was oh, mate. You can't even speculate because it's just daft to speculate, but it was a madness. Anyway, thoughts to everybody out there that's affected. Wherever you are in the world, if you're affected by something, thoughts to you in it, because someone's going to jump in the comments saying, you never spoke about this, you never said anything about them.
That's the second worst explosion I've ever seen recorded on a camera. Obviously outside of war stuff, but did you see the one in China a few years back in a chemical factory?
No.
Mate, I'll find it in there in a bit for you. That was the wildest
I don't know if
shit.
this might come as a surprise to you, but I don't make a habit of going around seeing people getting blown up on the internet. It's just something that I haven't done since the days of Faces of Death when I was in school. Do you remember that website?
Steak and onion as well. Was that steak and cheese?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mate, I was on the early days.
Rotten.com, do you remember that?
Dial up, yeah.
Do you remember Rate My Poo?
No.
Oh, let's not go there. Things we did as kids.
That's him, innit? Don't you do that? Right, I think this fucking show's over.
It is. We're going to win the Europa League. Who cares? We're in the fucking Champions League already. See you later.